Hey, can we get the hell out of here? We got another interview in freaking 14 minutes, Antron.
I'm not letting you go, man. I thought you liked the company, man. I thought this is how we roll, man. Look.
Love it.
Look.
But
From
You
that,
can't make stuff up like that. Look how we look, man.
Yeah. When you still had hair, we were the Freak Nation.
Absolutely, man. I cut my hair by choice. I can still grow my stuff now. Don't get it wrong.
Lucas Oil Studios, Freak Nation, Antron Brown joining us here in the Freak Nation, 3-time NHRA champion. Had a little race win last weekend, Labor Day weekend.
just a bit.
Hold on. I got something for you.
Oh, there it is.
Hello.
You're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. Antron's will be showing us a couple of things here. What are you showing us there, Antron?
I gotta wear the right hat for you. Hold on. Here you go. You see that? Let me get that.
Green victory.
Does that look bad?
Antron Brown with a race-winning lid from Camping World. Is that the Wally sitting behind you too?
Yeah. See what that says? Hold on. Let's see. Let me put it right.
There you go. Bang.
Winner.
Atta boy.
Indianapolis Top Fuel winner. That does look good.
It does. All right, Antron Brown joining us here in the Freak Nation, and I want to get to your appearance in front of Congress, or the Senate, I should say. But let's go over what happened last weekend, Labor Day weekend, and really what you had to overcome. The fastest field in Big Go history, or the fastest field in Top Fuel, whatever it was, you found an ounce of power to win that race that not a whole lot of people thought you had in you. What did you find?
Oh, Kenny, what we found was we just started finding ourselves. You know what I mean? We started finding where we just put our head down, and we wanted to move up. We qualified number 5 out of a 25-car field, and it was stout. I mean, number 16 qualifier was a 75. That's getting it, brother. Like 5 years ago, it'd probably been number 1 qualifier. So with that being said, for us is that we were trying to qualify and run like in the 60s in qualifying where we could move up in the top 3, but that didn't happen for us because we missed out on our 5th qualifying session due to rain for us. And then we just got in race day and we just started picking at it. Like, we had a tough first round matchup, got through that, got the second round matchup against Steve Torrance, got through that. And then we had Trip Tatum first round. And then Steve O second round, and Justin Ashley, we pushed the Coles to it and won a 69 against him. And then we raced the juggernaut of teams out there right now who's number 1 in points, which is Brittany Force with David Grubnick. And our guys just kept their head down. Brian and Mark and Brad and the rest of the boys, they kept their head down, and we stuck right around Brittany there in the final where we led the whole race from start to finish. So that was definitely a good statement to bring that big go home, because not only did we win the race, but there were 25 cars there that were showing out. Like everybody came and brought their A+ level game, and to win that race, you had to beat the best of the best. So that really feels good for our team, and to carry that momentum going into the countdown.
So what was it, Antron? What changed on race day? But you were also wanting it to go down in the 5th round of qualifying had that taken place. You said you wanted a 60 then, or you were shooting for a 60 then. You got that in the semifinals against Justin Ashley. So what changed from your setup from the first 2 rounds of eliminations to those last 2 where you were you were stout all day, but those last 2, woof, they were on fire.
Yeah, the hardest part for us, Crash, was that track was super good. It was good enough where you could run like a 65. But the problem that everybody had on doing it had a lot of water grains in the air. Now, I know I'm getting scientific on everybody, but what I mean is there's a lot of humidity, a lot of moisture in the air. And I think that dampened everybody's tune-up, where Brainerd, it was a lot drier air. It had like 50 grains of water in the air. In Indy, we were fighting out over 130 water grains, like double the water. It was like water hanging in the air. And as you know, if you want to have a big fire or a big bang, like a big boom, like it's got to be dry. It's got to be dry. And it was just tough for all of us to make power. The track was good enough to run world record numbers, but it was hard for all of us to make really big power to run those low ETs. You know what I mean? And for us, we just kept on digging, like tuning it up more. Brian kept on tuning it up more. We kept on moving some stuff around. And in the final, we really didn't show we had. Our car was really on a high 68 run. Our car actually dropped a hole right before half track. That's why we only went 319 miles an hour, because it slowed down tremendously when we ran 295 or 296 to half track. So if you put our normal back half to it, that's a 68 or a 69 in the final that we should have ran. So with that being said, is that we've been finding stuff. We've been digging on some stuff. We got the performance of our car working. We got the power going with the clutch.
Will that translate to other tracks? I know while you were talking there, they used to talk about Reading being the really tough place because of the trees, and the trees giving out the water grains or something. Why is Reading so much faster when, then it seems to go against what you were saying just now?
No, Reading doesn't put out the water grain stat, man. Come on, man. Come on, brother. You know what trees do? Trees turn carbon dioxide into oxygen, not water. It makes you breathe. You breathe good. And we go out on the West Coast where we're at sea level. We're not at elevation. The closer you get to sea level, the more oxygen's in the air.
Yeah,
that's what they call nitrous air. So
Yeah.
when we go up to Reading Maple Grove, we got them trees, man, everywhere, brother, blowing in the wind. And them cars get there, they start getting happy. They start going, ah. And they could breathe. And then when they could breathe, you could throw that fuel to it. And when you can throw more fuel, more oxygen, what's that make, baby? Makes that power. You know what I mean? So that's why we like going to Reading. That's why you always saw Reading. If it gets cool, and it usually stays like, it keeps the water grains down like the 60s, 70s, low water grains, stays like that with the oxygen in the air, and the track stays cool. That's why we broke so many world records at Reading throughout our career racing, is because that's what Reading brings to the table. And Gainesville does the same thing. If you could race there in the spring or the late fall where the weather gets cool because you're at sea level, that you can produce that type of power. If you could take that air and bottle it up and take it wherever you go, be dangerous. That's why we look forward to going to Reading, but I haven't seen what the temperature in Reading is going to be, if it's going to be a little hot or if it's going to be nice. So, and we don't get to run there at nighttime. They're all during the day qualifiers. So the sun will be on the track, so that plays a deal, where Indy was all cloud cover, where the track was, we had a lot more racetrack than power than what we had in Indy.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
So let me ask you a question. We're going to talk about climate change kinds of things when you talk to Congress. What has climate change done to the performance of the top fuel cars, the heat and everything that climate change brings to the car? What has that done to the performance of the race car on the track?
Well, the weather, I would say weather change for sure. Like weather change, it affects everything that we do on the racetrack. So if it's got more ambient sun out, like if you have more radiant sun, we rate that like from 1 to 10, like our TRD folks do. And then when you get more sun on the racetrack, it actually makes the racetrack get hotter, and it makes the rubber that's on the racetrack get more gooey, like chewing gum, where it gets more slick, and it brings the oil up out the rubber. Where when we go out there, we try to hit it hard. When you go out on the racetrack, it's got like a 140-degree track temp that's really, really hot. Like we raced Topeka, we could still make good power, but then we don't have no traction, so we can't apply the clutch like we want to yield the ETs that we're looking for, like the quicker ETs. But as the sun goes down, you get a little cloud cover, or the sun's going down, the sun's setting, and the track gets shade on it, and it goes down from like 130 degrees down to like 100 degrees per se. Now the track, once it gets down to 100 degrees, is getting into that optimum temperature. The optimum temperature for a racetrack, I would say it's always between 85 to 95 degrees. That is an optimum track because it's not really like hard or stiff. I would say the rubber has like a little bit of give to it where you can get some wheel speed and get going. And then you could yield those world record ETs. Well, when the track gets below 85 degrees, then it starts getting to the danger zone where I say it gets really, really tight and it gets hard where it has no give. And it's like super traction where you can't get the car up on the wheels to get those big ETs, where Indy got like that, where it got really, really good, where we didn't have enough power to make the tires do what we wanted them to do. Or you do like what Steve-O did when he hit the gas, it hooked so hard it jumped off the ground and then spun the tires because you hit too hard without it giving a little bit. So it's a whole science to it. And it's crazy how the weather, the sun, the temperature, and everything's got to, in our racing, we have to be balanced. The right amount of power with the right amount of clutch goes with the right amount of traction. And when you get all three of those to line up, that's when you drop the boom on everybody.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway September 30th through October 2nd to see legendary superstars John Force, Ron Capps, Tim Wilkerson, Rob Hyde, and Antron Brown battle it out in the countdown for the championship, the NHRA Midwest Nationals. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism. Go to www.raceway.com to get your tickets now.
Drop the boom. That's what every kid in this world wants to do. Drop the boom. We've been talking a little bit. Right now, we're talking with Antron Brown, Indy Big Go winner with NHRA Top Fuel at the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park just last weekend, the Big Go. But real quick, we've been talking a little bit on mic, off mic. Statman has a really good point about an article that came out this week with the lack of young names coming into the big part of NHRA drag racing, how there needs to be a way to attract younger, more diverse crowds. And my goodness, you're doing it. I mean, every science kid around the country right now that's listening to this is like, this is fun. I want to do this. How can I get in with Antron Brown to talk about the weather and track conditions? And I mean, this is amazing. What you're doing right now needs to be, I think, told more to kids to say, yes, racing, it's science, but it's fun and you can put it all together.
Well, without a doubt, Crash, that's what we do. You know what I mean? The thing about it is everybody hears STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now they got new terminology called STEAM, where you throw art in there too. So you can call it STEAM or STEM, what you want to do, because it is the art of what we do. You know what I mean? And the craziest part of it is that we're actually showing these students, and we do it at the NHRA. NHRA has a youth education and service program at the races where we reach out to all the local high schools and junior colleges where we go at, and we bring them out and we show them how we take those STEM learning subjects and we put them to real world use. Like you see it right away, like, hey, we bring this in, we do this, we do that. This is the cause and this is the effect. And we break it down every day, where our deal is nothing but a big science experiment. Every time we come back to the trailer, where we're sampling the air, we're sampling the racetrack, we're taking oil samples, diagnosing that. We're engineering, doing aerodynamic stuff. We're doing probability problems with mathematical equations and Excel spreadsheets and breaking all the knowledge down there, where we're going, okay, we're doing this. When we did this, we did that. Then we're just doing it all out with data, and we're breaking it down. And how you always say, statistician says, the numbers don't lie. No. And they don't. But the trick is Nitro always puts a unique spin on it, where it makes things happen that are not necessary you can figure out mathematically. Is more trial and error, because nitromethane is a different bird when you're mixing it in with alcohol and you put in a race vehicle with a blower, and you go from making normal race cars make about 3,500 horsepower like pro mods and alcohol dragsters. Then you go to a top fuel car that we're making close to 12,000 horsepower. That's a big jump, but that's what we do. We make that stem work for us. And all we do is the most efficient team wins on Sunday. The most efficient team wins the championship. And that's nothing but a probability problem because we can all do it different ways. But it's always one way that's more better than the other.
And the most efficient driver gets to talk to Congress and tell them how STEM is necessary for the future of everybody in all developmental aspects. Tell us what you did in front of everyone at Washington, D.C. this weekend and why it was so important.
Well, I got to talk in front of the committee, and it was a really necessary means about the RPM Act. And to be honest with you, what a lot of people don't realize is that the EPA comes down and they enforce law on everybody where they don't have anybody that's governing them and keeping them in check. And, if you go to California, which I think California is one of the most strictest states that we have in the country. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where it comes to like CO2, carbon dioxide, transportation, you have to have battery operated cars, all the other stuff of that such nature. Well, if they have it in their laws for their state that you could take standardized vehicles and modify them into race cars, and it's okay, and commit at closed circuit racing and promote motorsports in that state, why do we have a problem putting that in law, in federal law, that goes across the whole country, where it will protect motorsports, period? Like, if it wasn't for us being able to modify street legal vehicles or motor vehicles when I was a kid, I would never be Antron Brown today. I took a street bike, modified it, and made it a drag racing bike for under $5,000. I couldn't go out and buy a top gas bike that cost $50,000 to put together. Couldn't afford it. Get what I mean? It's no difference. It's like saying, okay, you can't take a normal car and go make it a crate model stock car that you could race around a circle track. You get what I mean? You could do that for under $5,000.
But
if you had to go build a race purpose car, big money.
I'm cutting you off for a reason. What's the EPA's fear with modifying, whether it's motorcycles or four-wheel automobiles? What is their fear of doing it? Why do they not want to have you guys do this?
Well, the EPA states at the end of the day is that they want to go after the bad actors. And what they mean is about the people who, like the corporations that make parts and pieces, and they said they're really going after the diesel truck industry, that they modify diesel trucks, change them and everything else. Well, what they're saying is they want to go after all these different companies, but they've been on the clock going after different companies and shutting these companies down when they were legitimate companies and they weren't breaking the law. You get what I mean? They weren't changing or doing nothing, and this RPM Act will protect them. And they said, no, we're not going to do nothing with racing. But then when you look at it, they have cases that are on the record back from 2020 and 2021 where it stated that we don't care if you modified a standard motor vehicle that's not allowed and basically just crushed it. You get what I mean? So everything that they were saying that they wouldn't do, it shows that they were doing it. You get what I mean? And all the RPM Act is to protect our industry because they're saying they're not going after the racers. But think about this. If they go and attack all the industry and businesses that make high performance parts, and they say or they claim that they're doing stuff for people that are for defeat vehicles, then what happens is they shut those companies down. Then those companies change their marketing strategy and what they're doing. They start making other products, stop making high performance products. Where do all the racers get all their parts and pieces from?
Yep.
You get what I mean? It's like attacking it from the outside, working its way in. So at the end of the day, we all know what our performance industry does. We work on tomorrow's technology today. From F1 to drag racing to IndyCar to NASCAR, the stuff that we develop goes into the automobile of tomorrow. Like, think about it, the twin turbos. Now that's the thing, V6 with twin turbos. For fuel economy, how long we've been racing with turbos in NHRA drag racing?
Very
Since the 70s and 80s.
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's just, that's where it hurts me, because I'm looking at the future generation, because it's not going to affect me. This is for my kids and the kids after my kids. Like, hey, well, if we do this, you can't do that. Well, how do you become the next John Force or Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Lewis Hamilton? How do you get there? Like, there's no road, no steps, no way to bridge the gap in between. And that's what we've done forever in motorsports through SCCA. You take a normal car, a little 4-cylinder car, stick shift, you lower it a little bit, you might put a little exhaust on it, you go racing around road courses, and you move up. Nobody can afford a Porsche off the back. So
And there's a way we can play together. I mean, we can still be kind to the environment and still have our motorsports playground, motorsports playground / work environment.
Well, and my general thing is that we're not, at the end of the day, we're trying to protect our environment, and we're not saying that we support people altering street vehicles and drive on the streets and put all the pollutant in the air. We're not saying that we're for that. If people are illegal, they are illegal. You get what I mean? And all the Congress, the senators that we met, it's the most bipartisan bill. It has over 11 Democrats and over 20 Republicans. So they got over more than half of the Senate that's in agreement with it, that supports this. You know what I mean? Bipartisan is actually, both parties are working together because they believe in it. And when I heard their stories, when I was up on Capitol Hill, where all the people that are part of the committee, it was about 6 senators in there, from females to guys, and they all had something in racing. One raced a motorcycle. Yes. I think Senator Kelly, like his wife, raced motorcycles. You know what I mean? And he's the senator of Arizona now, the astronaut. And it was pretty cool because I met him a long time ago with Bob Tasca at NASA in Houston, Texas. And I said, I landed the space shuttle. I didn't crash it when I landed. He goes, son, he corrected me real quick. He goes, son, you ain't landed a space shuttle. You landed the simulator. You landed the simulator. I said, same thing. I landed it still. I said, brother's going to survive. He's coming down the space shuttle. I ain't going to die. I'm going to land that baby like a bird. Bob Tasker crashed it, though. And he flies airplanes. He flew airplanes. He crashed the space shuttle, landed it. Brother man ain't crashed. I'm a survivor.
Oh, them's fighting words.
Wow. So let me ask you the other side of the coin, because the racing industry has a place. I know it disappoints me when I'm driving down the highway and I see beautiful hills and they're scarred up with motorcycle paths going up the hill, or there's guys that are drag racing on the street and jeopardizing my life trying to stay out of their way. What does the racing industry have to do to stop those people from ruining the environment to look at and endangering people who try to drive next to them?
Stat man, this is a hard problem to fix and solve. No matter what you do in life, you're always going to have a criminal. Am I right or wrong? Think about it. If we didn't, why we have to have police officers? You always got the bad apples that ruin it for anybody. But this is my question. How come the EPA can go attack these businesses, right, that can make high performance parts, okay? But yet you can have some crazy person go get a gun and shoot up people, shoot up malls. You don't go back to Smith & Wesson and shut the gun manufacturer down now, do you?
You do, General Tire delivers.
Wow.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
I wouldn't mind putting a stop sign right there.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And what I'm saying is, why don't you penalize the people that do the crime? If you get caught out in the street racing, knock them people down. They're doing it by their choice. The manufacturer's not enticing them. You can go buy. So what you're saying is, you can go buy a blower. You can go buy a blower off my top fuel car, right? You know that's straight for race purposes, right? What's stopping somebody from mounting that blower on a street vehicle, on the manifold?
Laws.
So then do you go after the blower manufacturer and shut them down because somebody bought that race part and put it on their vehicle?
Hey,
Valid point.
Can we do this? Listen, we could go on and on. I just have the visual of you putting Statman on your knee and your arm around him.
Let me tell you something,
Statman. The visual of you being the old seasoned dude with Statman on your knee right there. I couldn't hold a straight face, Andrew.
Hey, Stat, it's okay, man. We use the same barber, baby. We use the same barber. It's all good, man. It's all good. Hey, we're born from the same feather, man. Like, you know what I mean? Part of the same cloth. And as the good man always said, man, the good Lord make perfect heads like your and mine, Stat, man. And he made ones with hair on them.
And all the rest of them covered up with hair. There you go. Yeah, I understand.
You understand, brother, man?
I understand. Yeah.
Understand.
So let me, before you get away, did you have any impact when 3-time champion Antron Brown, who just won the U.S. Nationals, did you have any impact on? Did they listen to what you had to say? Did you have any impact on it?
Man, I tell you what, I was in awe, and it touched my heart on how much all those senators respect motorsports and what it does. And it was pretty huge. Like, you know, when I read up on some different things and start filling out and get estimated numbers on what motorsports brings to this country, and you never realize it, the economic impact that motorsport has. You know what I mean? It brings over $100 billion to communities across this country. You get what I mean? Like, think about this. I didn't realize this. You know the PRI show that goes downtown Indy? That one show, the PRI, we're not even talking about the SEMA in Vegas. I don't even know what the numbers on that. But PRI has close to over $75 million impact on Indiana, where all the people coming to town, restaurants, hotels, industries, business. I mean, it's huge. And then when you go to each and every race, like the NHRA race, a NASCAR race, midget local races, the local drag strips, the $1 million bracket races, like you think about all the money that it does to all these different communities and what it does. It's just unbelievable. And I didn't even know, like, you know what I mean? Like I had an idea, but I didn't have that kind of idea. And these senators know that. And it was pretty awesome to hear where you got some of them go, hey, I need to put a drag strip in my state. You guys race a national event in my state?
Hey, Mark Kelly, we've got Phoenix going away. Come on, Mark, build another one.
You know? Hey, well, the thing about it is just getting the word out of what we do and how we do. And motorsports is a way of life. We educate a lot of young people and we teach them a lot of valuable life lessons. I mean, motorsports is easy. You simply get out what you put in. And if you want to be something special, you got to put that work in, a lot of work.
There he is.
And,
he's talking to students again. Hey, students, you hear that? You get out what you put in.
You know it. From humble beginnings. Hey, I was there with Freak Nation when we was going down the halls. We were going down the halls doing temporary. You guys had temporary areas like boom here, boom there.
Yeah, we remember that. Well,
worldwide.
You know, there is the new movie coming out, Step Brothers 2, right? You realize that?
Where are you going?
Yes, there we go, baby. Look at that picture.
Step Brothers 2 coming out. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you see Antron 20 years ago and yours truly. And there's another hairstyle for you, Stat Man. I know you want to put something together.
Antron's got hair in that picture,
I got hair in that picture, baby. I got hair.
And that's your two-wheel days.
Yes, it is. Just, man, I was a young buck right there, boy. I was young. Look at that. Me and Kenny, boy, look like, boy, lucky that we got some women now. Crash, see that? You saw that a long time ago. Look what you got. Look what you got now. Look at it. Saw that piece of blonde gold. What'd you call it? Like gold man. I look like I got that gold complexion to him. next to that deep chocolate. Look at it, boy.
That's a cop movie,
That's
isn't
an
it?
Oreo, baby.
That's it.
Cop movie.
We were movie stars back there, Kenny. Tell them how we rolled back then.
With our
Look at the
Oakleys.
glasses.
Look at those Oakleys, Broham.
I know, brother. They don't even do them like that no more.
Oh, holy smokes.
Antron, is that before your first U.S. Nationals win?
I think that's the year I won the U.S. Nationals in Pro Stock Motorcycle for the first time. That looked like that was 2001 because I had the shirt on what I was wearing on. That's the bike colors I was racing that year.
Okay.
That's 2001. That's why Kenny had his arm around me because he saw the winner.
Now you're a 4-time U.S. Nationals winner.
Say what?
Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
crazy.
now you're somebody who talks to Congress.
Right.
I mean, come
Oh,
on.
Come on, bro. What is going on? You sell out, man.
Yeah, won't even wear the suit into the Freak Nation. That's what gets me. You get us with a t-shirt,
Hey,
and
let
you
me tell you
come
something.
to go to Congress with a suit.
We win the championship this year, Statman. We're going to do a live broadcast, and I'm going to wear a suit just for you.
There you
I ain't
go.
going to wear that suit. I'm going to wear a different suit because we ain't got one suit. We got lots of different suits.
Wait
you
a
got to
minute.
dress.
You got
You got to
two
dress for the
suits?
occasion.
You got two suits?
Two?
Antron Brown,
I got
3
more than two. I probably got one for like every day of the week for like 3 weeks.
Dude.
man.
Hey, let me say something.
Question.
William Wilson out of North Carolina, a.k.a. the Clothier, has made suits for me for a long time, custom suits. And he makes me look good every time. My man just said, AB, I got something for you. So just bring it to me. Just bring it to me. Because he never disappoints. I ain't got to dress myself. He just does it up for me. So I was pulling one of his renditions out the closet. He just color coordinates. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You open it up. It looks like old Pop off of Friday. Got the coordinate. Got the coordinate.
Dang.
Wow.
Antron is hooked up. Does he do your tuxedo for the end of your banquet too?
Yeah, he did I have a personal tuxedo that he's done for me too. So yeah, man, let me tell you, Crash, think about this.
Antron. Wow.
People think you spend money, but once you get to my age, we don't change size no more. It makes me stay fit so I can fit into the clothes that I bought.
Well,
okay.
Right?
You know, Statman wanted me to show this to you. Will you be bringing your bodyguard with you?
Yeah, man. Look at that old picture. That's an older brother right there. Look at Statman back in the day, boy. Couldn't tell him nothing, boy.
More Oakleys,
The
man.
over the head Oakley. Scotty Cannon brought those into popular.
Statman, I can't believe you let him put them on you, man, like that, man. You look straight up from Star Trek, man.
That was before I've never won 3 championships,
Right.
brother. If I'd had a closet full of championships, I'd have had a closet full of suits.
That's it. That's it.
He just had some over the head Oakleys in the closet.
Yeah,
But you look good with them things, man. You made them look good.
that's what you get when you don't win championships. You gotta wear them Oakleys. I never would have said that when they sponsored us, but
Right.
now they don't sponsor us anymore. Forget them.
You realize Statman shaved his goatee for you?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
good
at
for you.
that.
Good for you,
You did that just for me, because you know why?
Just for
Because
you.
me and Statman, I always call Statman like my big brother. It looks like my big bro. That's
If
all.
you anybody that can go to Congress and tell Congress what's the haps,
Mm-hmm.
you got to clean up from that. Even though you don't wear a suit when you come into the Freak Nation.
All right.
But I never knew the Freak Nation was that formal. I thought the Freak Nation was as come as you are.
We're as formal as Congress, brother. We're that important.
All right.
Hey, well, let me tell you something, man. Y'all know me.
Holy smokes. Well, brother,
What a week. What a week.
it's
for
been
you.
awesome, man, with your big win at Indianapolis and, of course, flying those Lucas Oil colors. It's awfully badass, buddy. It's always a pleasure when chocolate rolls in the Freak Nation.
Hey, I appreciate that. And it was very special being there at the home front and after doing all the stuff that we did in the start of the week with for Eric Medlin, with the Eric Medlin, the golf tournament that Lucas Oil put on. It was a very special moment. We got to spend a lot of time with a lot of people out there before the race started. And as the race weekend went on, we just had our whole family out there. Our Mako Tools and Lucas Oil family was out there, and all of our sponsors out there from Toyota
Boom.
to Hanksterford, Streamlight, Summit Racing. I mean, everybody was just showing out. And then we even had Sirius XM tuning up in the pits, man. We was playing that in the winter circle, man. It's nice when you get that satellite radio, baby.
Hold on. I took a video. You guys rickrolled us on Friday night with that Sirius channel. Yes. All of a sudden I hear Rick Astley. I'm like, no, but it clearly was an omen because it led to good things.
Oh, it did. I didn't. Who turned that on?
I
didn't turn that on.
It was all good. People were dancing. It's all good.
Listen,
You were dancing? Were they
I can hear
dancing?
Statman getting into that whole Nelly conversation down in Tucson. Let's don't go there. Let's don't.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
No, with Johnny Gray and please, let's don't go there. We've already spent 22 years of this stuff, man.
Can you believe it's been that long?
We had
Hey, look.
Angel's freaking old man after us for like 5 of those.
Hey, Stat Man didn't even, man, he don't age, man. He don't age.
I know.
You know, we were out there before you won your first championship, brother. We brought you into the Freak Nation with your first championship.
Oh,
Absolutely, brother. Hey, I was there from the beginning of Freak Nation. I remember when it started.
Yeah.
hey, can we get the hell out of here? We got another interview in freaking 14 minutes, Antron.
I'm not letting you go, man. I thought you liked the company, man. I thought this is how we roll, man. Look.
But
From
You
that,
can't make stuff up like that. Look how we look, man.
Yeah. Before, when you still had hair, we were the Freak Nation.
Absolutely, man. You know, I cut my hair by choice. I can still grow my stuff now. Don't get it wrong.
will you do
Don't
that?
get it wrong. I'll
you
get a
grow
little
some?
hair. I'm only shy a little bit on the corner up here, a little bit. That's about it.
Will you grow it out for a little bit for social media purposes if you win the championship?
Oh Lord.
What color is it got?
It has a lot of black to it, but I'll have some gray in there a little white stuff in there here and there. But you know, I just kind of shave that out in my life because this is easy. I got the shower, no more shampoo, no more conditioner, just like lotion, baby, straight lotion.
if you win the championship, you and Statman grow your hair for a month.
No.
Come on. Okay, 3 weeks.
We went through all of that with Brian Herder. We ain't gonna do that again.
But Stat Man, just let them know, baby. Let them know, man. People always tell me, go, AB, you don't age. Stat Man, you don't age. You know what I tell them all the time, Stat Man, when they tell me that?
What's that?
I said, when have you ever saw a piece of chocolate that don't look good?
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You gotta put that on your holler. If that's not a t-shirt, I don't know what is.
Antron, and on that note, 3-time NHRA Top Fuel champion, got his first win as a team owner and as a driver at Indianapolis for the big go. Buddy, much love.
Much love. Well, appreciate y'all. Love you. And you know, all y'all family. Always family.